taught you to hate your own kind? Who taught you to hate the race that you belong to?
Welcome to another episode of the Uncensored Truth Podcast. I'm your brother, O God, from Hip Hop News Uncensored, and sitting across from me is my co-host.
What it do? What's good? It's your brother Sam and Viral Hip Hop News. You're in a building with the best, and we are live, baby. Another episode of the Uncensored Truth Podcast, exclusively on the Uncensored Truth Podcast official channel. Oh God, what's good, my brother?
What up, Sam, man? We in the building tonight, man, as promised. Every Friday night, 8 p.m. sharp, we will be in the building. I just want to say, give a shout out to everybody who's going to be listening to this, whether it be Spotify, Google Play, iTunes, man. You are rocking with the best. We about to go in tonight, man. It's going to be a special one that we got for the people. So go ahead and get your popcorn ready and get ready for this one, man.
Man, we're going to enjoy ourselves, man. But before we do, you already know how we get down on the Uncensored Truth Podcast. Make sure you drop those area codes. Let us know where you're listening from. You're already doing it. Wonderful. I see Cleveland in the building, Alabama in the building. What it do? 334. The Bay Area always in the building. 510-4711 West Crenshaw Boulevard in the building. Salute to you. We will have Kenyatta Griggs in the building this evening. We're going to get it in like old guy said earlier, but let's get to it. 213-313 in the building. Atlanta in the house. 503 Oregon 919 in the building with the Uncensored Truth Podcast. I'm going to get to this and share this on Viral Hip Hop News so we can get everybody in the building. But how you doing today, old guy?
Oh, man, doing great today, man. As you know, man, just not, it was kind of cold out today, but, you know, we ready to get to this, man, and talk about this, man. At least, you know, one more time, the brother reached out to us and he wanted to, you know, share his sentiments with the people. So it's going to be an action-packed show. All we're asking people to do, though, real quick, if you're coming in, you want to help, you know, support the podcast, go ahead and hit the like button and just go ahead and share the video, man, because this is a conversation that you're going to want to hear and let somebody else hear tonight. Jersey, stand up. I see you, Karen. We in the building tonight, man. Definitely.
Indeed. 405-617 in the building. Milwaukee's in the house. Beantown. What up? What up? Yeah, man. We're excited about this one. A real tough week. I see you, Stan, man. Underdig, your hat is on the way in the mail. With it up. I was talking to old guy about that earlier, man. Appreciate you, 585 in the building. Yeah, man. We were talking. It was a real rough week for hip hop. A real rough week for everybody who loved and who really admired what Nipsey Hussle was doing out here.
Right.
For him and his untimely death. And as we're unraveling and starting to talk about it more, it's just it's a lot of unanswered questions, man, and we can't help to talk about it. We can't help to get into it. We're doing it as respectable as possible, obviously, and we're not trying to throw the word quote unquote conspiracy theory out there because we want to back this up with solid evidence. The things we want to talk about right now. But oh God, real quick before we get Kenyatta Griggs in here, which should be within the next 10-15 minutes or so. He said he'll get with us about 8:15 Eastern time. Rest in peace, Sean Taylor. You already know.
Yeah.
What's your thoughts on this, man, as we go through toward the end of the week, almost 5 days in to his unfortunate passing? Now we're hearing about the funeral arrangements and things like that. And we've seen the circus yesterday with the arraignment. So what do you think, man?
More people are now speaking out. His alleged business partner now, you know, will switch the whole narrative. You know, Black Sam, who is his brother, you know, gives an account to the Los Angeles Times. That story is now circulating all over the internet. And just the more people that come out, the more days that go past, you would think that we will be getting closure, but more and more questions are now remaining unsolved. His brother, you know, pretty much saying like he don't know who to trust. He don't know what's going on with the situation. He talk about, you know, not to get too graphic, but just him returning back and the whole police informant thing. There's a lot of things that don't add up. And when 1, 2, 3, but thousands of people are starting to say it and you starting to see a trend in the comment section, it's real, Sam, man.
Well, what were we saying initially? How did this come out about the whole informant situation? What I say, the streets. They were on it, and they've been on it, and it's something that they can't hide anymore. And that's something that social media is one of the gifts of social media. Is everyone can start getting the information out here so quickly that they can't shut it down in time. And when we've seen Black Sam and just talking about his brother and his situations leading up to his passing, man, it's heartbreaking. It's hard to read.
Definitely.
It's real hard to read. And we can't wait to get Kenyatta on here to talk about it. Being from LA, being from that area, knowing that area very intimately and well. You see on social media, a lot of people going and just being in LA and just talking about it being a different kind of atmosphere. It's real different out there right now. It's sad, man, when you look into the things that this brother was doing, the things that he had his hand in as far as helping the community and changing it around, just wasn't supposed to happen to him like this. And the more the time goes by, you start asking yourself why more and more and more and more and more. And start looking at evidence, man.
It is a lot. And then when you have people that reach out to us like the brother did, and he just, you know, in the message says something like what people are starting to say now, it gets real chilling and scary at this point to say, you know what, let's just look at all angles of this. Because that's how I was just taught, man. We were taught that way coming up, not to always take it for face value, because sometimes, a lot of times people just lie to you, but to really sift through it, think analytically, think outside the box, and really come down to the fundamentals of what's really going on here. And I don't think anything at this point should be ruled out. I think everything right now should be on the table.
It has to be.
Yeah.
There's no way that it can't. I mean, when you look at, he shook the brother's hand prior to. He's so comfortable. He knows his every move. And for it to go down the way it did, it was almost too perfect for it not to make you think a little deeper, not to make you think a little more into thinking that it's more than jealousy, it's more than envy. When you look at historically, and happy anniversary, the unfortunate anniversary of Martin Luther King, who got assassinated on this day today. And when you think about what Nipsey Hussle was doing for his community and how he was changing it around and how he was taking drugs off the street, was taking crime off the street, was providing jobs for ex-felons where they weren't usually going to get these kind of opportunities, and things are starting to turn around. And then you start seeing money recirculated back in the community. Historically, I hate to say it, but when have they ever liked that? When have they ever wanted that? And you can see now more than ever the outpouring and the support that this brother has more than ever. I mean, it's one thing the music. It's one thing him being great at what he did musically. But like I said yesterday on the podcast, you don't hear anything about his music. Yeah, we're bumping it. Yeah, we're enjoying it. But when we talk about it, when you see people giving their thanks and throwing their testimonies toward Nipsey in his life, it ain't a damn thing about the music. It's all about the man. And that's strong. That's powerful, man.
Yeah. And like you said, he was you know, doing a lot in the community, man. And one of the major things, you know, we talk about the real estate and buying back the block, that's one thing. But the thing that will really shake things up is the unification of the Bloods and the Crips. You know what I mean? The notorious street gangs that have, you know, been going against each other for years. But at the inception of these gangs, you know, were meant to not only protect the community from police brutality, but you know, they served as a vanguard to help the community. You know what I mean? Almost like a little like quasi-military, you know, force, because at that time in a neighborhood, you have police brutality, cops doing all types of things, getting away with it. So the brothers and, you know, and sisters and people in the hood had to stand up and do things about it. This is where the gangs came from. And when you look back, FBI counterintelligence, you know, their own paperwork, they go in and they talk about, you know, some of the things that they were sent to do was to get inside these different, anything that they deem a political organization and disrupt it, plant false media stories, get people to go against each other, and ultimately get the spark infight. And so these people will go against each other and wipe each other out, you know, and do the job, you know, for them, you know what I mean? Because they can only be the only gang, the big boys, you know, in town. So it goes deep, not to get off into, you know, a tangent, but if you talk about somebody coming in to try to fix that, something that was set up and divided by the structure, that could be a problem. You know what I mean? A huge problem for prison profit, police salaries, judges, people that can live off into the suburbs, you know, and continue to make money, you know, off the backs, you know, of young colored, you know, black, whites, Hispanics in the jail penal system.
Anybody in that system,
right?
And when you look at statistics show that that's a overwhelming number of blacks, point blank period, black males, and they're doing that free labor. So it goes to show you, it's 100% sure that money would be lost if these aspects were taken out of the equation, and Nipsey was providing a part to where these were being taken out, and we really started to gain a little bit more of conscious and awareness of what we really have to do out here to stay out of that bullshit and into our children's lives, our families' lives, the education system, providing better food. Like we were talking about, I was telling you, I was at the produce market a couple of days ago, and they accept EBT now, and I'm just like, it blew me away. A light bulb went off. Like, imagine if we had the produce markets in inner cities. You don't ever see a produce market where you could buy fresh produce, fresh fruit, fresh vegetables, and things like that. in a place like that. You see a Popeyes, you see your McDonald's, you see a liquor store, you see the bullshit. Nothing where you can go and conveniently do that. And then you can go and get that off the fucking government. Go ahead and do that and provide for your family the right way, eat the right way, educate the right way. Because another thing you were alluding to, which is very important, how we're automatically stigmatized into getting the high blood pressure, the diabetes, the heart disease. Well, no, we're a fine oil machine. And if you put fucked up gas in it, fucked up oil in it, fucked up things in it, the performance is going to run and go down way faster than your normal Ford or you know what I mean, a Chevy or something like that. Because we're a finer vehicle. That is scientifically it's proven. So we have to understand that when you see things and you see a man that came from where he came from, where he wasn't supposed to get out of that situation, begin to not only get out of that situation, but change the circumstances for other people. They have to, that's a threat. Let's just call it for what it is. And it makes a lot of sense for you to get somebody that looks like him, talks like him, walks like him, to paint a narrative to go, okay, he was a rival. He was jealous. He was doing this. He was doing that. Right. Look what he put in Joyner Lucas's DM. He was a fan. He was this, he was that, and make everything look good. And meanwhile, he's gone. Now, we're not saying that this is true. We're open-minded to different things other than what the mainstream media is going to tell us. Yeah. And you got to prove me otherwise right now, because when I start connecting the dots in my head, lining the fucking dominoes up, shit making more sense than ever to me.
Well, I just want a little part here from the LA Times article, and it says Holder was a familiar face in South LA. Pictures on social media showing him wearing Crips blue bandana, but in recent years he seems to vanish, only to reemerge at the Marathon clothing store when people said that he shook hands with Nipsey. So the whole thing we were talking about, where did this come from? This whole police informant thing. You said it comes from the streets. People know, and this guy disappears and then pops up. Historically, they say it themselves. This is not stuff that we're making up. This is their own documents where they say that they hire people to do different things like this, man. One includes assassinations, murders. It just is what it is, dog.
And would it make sense?
That's FBI files.
Would it make sense? Why it would make perfect sense, unfortunately, if you were in that seat, to go, okay, who's a threat? And that was a real one. And you can see it now. My God. They're trying to set up his funeral and they don't find a place big enough. You said the Staples. Imagine that. Yeah. Holy shit. The impact that he's having. And I can't stress it enough. When these rappers have passed away, unfortunately, within the last year or so, untimely deaths, nonetheless, everyone reflected on their music. Oh, we're going to miss them. They're going to miss their music, their impact on music. We compared them to different artists and stuff, but their music was right there what we talked about. Nipsey is the last thing we're talking about is his music, and he was great at a rapper. Right. Victory Lap was probably, arguably, the best album of 2018. Top 3 in a lot of people's eyes. Yeah. And the more you dive into it, it's almost getting like, okay, this is a no-brainer. This shit was a classic. Yeah. Unfortunately, it's sad that we had to appreciate this now in his death and not more in his life, but this brother was on a path of doing something way beyond his music, and historically they do this shit. So
yeah, we gotta talk about it. It is what it is, man. And to the people that you see the title there, Kenyatta Griggs is scheduled to come in momentarily. I did send him the link, as well. So hopefully, I went through successfully. He's going to talk about Nipsey. Nipsey, he knows Nipsey personally. Nipsey, was on record pretty much, promoting and showing the Culture Vultures, the book and everything that's out, as well as us promoting that. So he has a different perspective. He lives over in LA. He's probably seeing things, feeling things different. Obviously, he knew the man personally. So we thought it would be a good, time to, he wanted to speak on this. So can't wait till the brother comes in, and I'll just stay tuned for that. I know the people are definitely waiting for that.
Indeed, man. Make sure you hit that like button. Let us know where you're calling from. Where you're watching from. Hit the area codes right now. I'm about to hit Kenyatta right now. He said give him 10 minutes. So he'll be in here ready in 10 minutes. He got the link. So we're in the building right now on the Uncensored Truth podcast, getting our Nipsey conversation on, man. Yeah. Indeed, definitely. Man.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. But yeah, man, coming in today, man, it's just, been one of those weeks, man. Again, like the whole Pac situation, I was very young, then, but I feel this, man. I feel this, to anybody who's ever lost someone can feel it. But I think just the impact that he's had on people, whether it be through his music or people that he has personally came in contact with, or people who have heard about different things, it's just like, you just don't want to see this, man. No matter what color you are, people, it just hurts, man. If you see somebody who's, you know, doing good, you know, just completely turns his life around, and you see this happen, you know, I mean, I think it's a tragedy, man.
On every
tragedy.
Yeah, on every level it hits home. Oh God, like you said, when Pac and Big died, 96 and 7, if I'm not mistaken, 96, 97. Y'all can correct me if I'm wrong in the chat room. Pac died in 96, Big died in 97, if I'm not mistaken. We were young, and we were young enough to appreciate their music, kind of like the kids are with Triple X and things like that now, to where that affected us to like, man. But we didn't really understand and get to appreciate the man that Tupac was until we got a little older.
Yeah,
got to see him, got to see the rise of YouTube, where we can really, oh wow, this brother was a little deeper than just his music, because we were too young. Being a father, being an entrepreneur, being somebody that lives by the mantra of self-independence, self-worth, do for self, and someone who loves their people and wants to see their people do better, and just overall mankind. I love everybody, but in particular, the people that look just like me, walk just like me, talk just like me, that I see out here just not excelling to where we need to excel for various amount of reasons. I want to see us do better. And when you see somebody walking like you, talking like you, doing these things around the same age, coming from places and situations where they didn't have to come from, this hits home a little harder, especially for us, given the personal circumstances behind the situation. And it's just like, man, this isn't supposed to happen. And when you look at the brutality behind it, that man went out to set out a target. He hit 3 people. He shot, he left, he came back, shot twice. He left, he came back and shot twice. He wanted to make sure that he finished the deal. And that was an excerpt from Nipsey's brother that he said, and that y'all could read that, and we'll have that up. But it just makes your stomach hurt. This dude was executed. His brother was executed. He had a family. He had children. He had people that looked upon him. And the good thing is, because we were talking about it yesterday, he was supposed to have conversations with the LAPD and the gangs to get things together. That's not going to happen now. But now we see people out in LA, the gangs getting together and uniting and doing peace treaties and things like that. Those are great signs when you see different areas and different sets coming together and squashing the bullshit. Because at the end of the day, when you take the rags off, we all look just the fuck alike. Yeah. And you can't tell. That's powerful. Those numbers and those gatherings are powerful. So we got to keep that up, and powerful conversations happening outside of the cameras, away from the rallies, quote unquote, to where we can get some real progression done.
Definitely, man. But you tuned into the Uncensored Truth podcast with your brother, Oh God and Sam, man. We'll be having brother Kenyatta Griggs from Hip Hop Motivation coming on the program in about 5 minutes now to talk about a friend of his, Nipsey Hussle, talks about what he thinks, you know, what's going on here. That's what I love about the independent media, man. We can kind of get on here and just give our thoughts, you know, on what we think, you know, think analytically, think outside the box. Sam, man, I want to ask you about, you know, we seen, you know, the Eric Holder cat yesterday hiding behind Chris Darden, the former OJ prosecutor. That was like a curveball in the whole thing. We were all just expecting us to see this guy go do his arraignment, but we see this guy up here defending him. And it's crazy because it's just like, man, what do you think about this, Sam, man? Does this like make it to you? Does it like throw more gas onto the conspiracy fire to you?
It was wild, man. And I don't want to use the C word because you know what?
Let's take that out.
The C word now, because it automatically gets a bad stigma to it. And you got to hit me with some evidence on why everything we saying can't go on. And right now, everything that we saying can be backed up with evidence. The shit happened before. He was powerful out here. They historically don't like that. Yeah. The shit lines up right now. So you got to prove me wrong right now. When you talked about it yesterday, and you as you were reading it on the podcast, that's when I found out Christopher Dart, and I was like, OJ, the prosecutor for OJ, the motherfucker that let him put on them gloves and let Johnny Cochran dog walk his ass all the way to victory. This dude, man, what a circus this is about to become. And I'm like, wow. First off, how did he afford this dude? That's one question. But then you go, okay, based off of the popularity and the publicity behind it, Darton's snake ass could have just wanted to run to it for the publicity, because he just came off, I think a couple years back, they did the anniversary of OJ and they redid the whole trial. And I don't know if he was on there, but I remember
he'll make more money for the publicity.
Bread.
In the future. Yeah.
Bread. So What a sick, twisted motherfucker. And when he talked about the OJ trial, he looked up to Johnny Cochran and how he wanted to do better and how he was looked at being a prosecutor in that situation. And we remember that. We were kids, but we remember sitting right here and our grandparents looking at every goddamn minute of the OJ trial. And how black people rolled behind OJ, even though we knew he was guilty as hell. We didn't even know as kids he was guilty. We were so programmed to think that he was innocent just based off of the support he had. And you couldn't tell us any different. So when you see a black prosecutor going against that, oh, he got it. He got it all the way through. So to see him and understand that he was hurt by that and hear him say that himself and then to go and do this shit,
right?
It's like you whack, bro. But let's speak on it. Is it a little deeper than him just being whack?
Nah, I'm thinking, man, I can't wait to get Kenyatta in because I can't wait to get somebody in here who knows Nipsey himself and is in that area, because right now it's just like a lot of people, or just want to keep throwing around what you guys don't really know. We're going to hear it from somebody who had contact with his brother that's in the area, because when you're in the area, like I was saying earlier when we were chilling, is like you're going to hear stuff different. If something happened in Jersey in our area, we're going to hear things. People are going to talk. So I can't wait to hear, what the brother has to say, coming in here, man. Definitely tonight.
Yeah, we've been talking to Kenyatta for a couple of weeks now and trying to get him on, and he's been busy because he had the birth of his new daughter. Congratulations, and everything's been going on. And then obviously the unfortunate passing of Nipsey happened, and he hit me last night like, bro, we got to talk about this, and was hitting me with a lot of stuff. And I'm just like, whoa, like, I can't wait to come on here and talk about it. He talked about the pulse of the city right now. The area is very somber, it's very eerie, it's very weird. And we know a lot of things historically has went on in LA. When you think of the riots, Rodney King beaten, you think about Biggie dying out there, Tupac dying in Las Vegas, but the effect that it had on Los Angeles, and just the number of stories that come out of there. It's a lot of history and a lot of just those kind of eerie kind of feelings that come out of that city sometimes. And this is one of them. It may be one of the biggest ones we've dealt with in the 2000s thus far. And I can't wait to hear from somebody that's been out there, that's walking and talking it, man. So indeed.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. But you're tuned into the Uncensored Truth podcast with your brother, Old God, and Sam. And we're going in today, man, on this Friday night, man, talking about the late Nipsey Hussle. Everybody know, I'm sure you heard the news by now, what happened, tragic event. But we were scheduled to have brother Kenyatta Griggs, come in here, in a few minutes to really talk about what he thinks. And probably, I don't know, we don't know what he's going to say. We didn't really do a lot of talking, but I'm pretty sure we're pretty much on the same, wavelength when it comes to that. I think the brother is attempting to come in right now.
Okay,
so that's real dope. I do see his icon, so that's real awesome right there. But yeah, man, put your area codes in real quick. Let us know where exactly you're tuning in from tonight, so we can give you a quick shout out while waiting for the brother to come in, man. Where's your city?
Indeed, man. Oh no, God, man. Let me ask you this real quick before we get Kenyatta in the building.
Yeah.
Are we reading too much into this still? Because initially, a lot of people were running toward the Dr. Sebi argument, and we're going to talk about that.
Yeah.
And that got shot down by his family. People were saying, don't rush to judgment. They were offended. And we wanted to approach every situation very lightly when we talked about it, obviously out of respect for his family.
Right.
Is this too far-fetched, though? Because we kind of teetered on the line of whether we even wanted to talk about it, period, on the podcast. Talked about it a number of times behind the scenes, but on the podcast. And now it's like, okay, it's the time to really get into this,
because the people are now starting to question it, and you can't pull the wool over the eyes for the people for so long. When we put the video up last night of Nipsey Hussle's alleged business partner, I don't know if that's been confirmed yet, but in all accounts, he's saying he's a business partner. People just started flooding the comment section with more and more skepticism. More videos are coming out. People are just making good points, man. You could sift through some of the BS. There's a lot of guys on the internet who are just saying it just to say it, but people who can really think through this, think clearly, and say, nah, just don't really add up. Because you look at the court and all that, their job is to sift through, supposedly, sift through the different facts. So, just because you're not in the court, don't mean you can't be an analytical deep thinker. We could do the same thing as well. If it don't make sense, it don't make sense. I don't care what anybody else is saying in the world.
Correct me if I'm wrong, but didn't you say, with all due respect, God rest his soul, didn't you say Nipsey was the kind of thinker that was outside the box all day long? And was this kind of thinker that, you can't just necessarily put everything at face value, give thought to every situation, all aspects, 360 degrees of the whole entire circle, because you never know what could be creeping behind it, in front of it, on the side of it. And you got to make sure that you have everything in line before you go ahead and make ultimate judgment, because we know, especially today, once everything is put in your face and claimed and stamped as truth, it's here today and going tomorrow. Right. So they would love this situation to go ahead and get going, get settled, and get going, so that we can forget about it, so that it could be just rendered down to some simple YouTube C-word videos and brushed under the rug, and we can keep on moving. Right. But we're also in a great day and age where, no, if enough people and if enough masses just simply ask questions, not trying to disrespect, not trying to shit on anything, not trying to cause any controversy, right? Just simply go on the fact that this has historically happened to leaders of this color before throughout history, where we're on the anniversary of it happened to one of the greatest, if not one of the most popular and polarizing black figures of all time. Right. And Martin Luther King happening today. It's not far-fetched, man.
Facts. Yeah, man. Definitely. But brother Kenyatta Griggs, I think, here is in the building here. I just seen him a second ago. You know, the guest of the hour tonight has arrived. Peace, brother. We appreciate you, coming through tonight.
What's happening?
Go ahead and introduce yourself, bro.
Peace. Kenyatta, hip-hop motivator.
Indeed, Kenyatta, peace, brother. How you doing, man? How's
everything good, man? How's my sound on this side, man? Because I had to use my phone.
It sounds great, actually.
Yep.
Okay. Good. Dope.
You might want to you can turn your phone the other way. Maybe. I don't know if you can. If not, it's cool. We'll rock.
Turn it like this.
Yep, there you go.
That's dope. All right, we got it. I'm in the house.
Definitely.
All right, cool, man. So yeah, so we got talking yesterday, man. We've been talking for a few weeks. Congratulations on the newborn baby girl.
Oh, thank you. Appreciate it. Yeah.
Indeed.
Keeping me up at night.
I'm sure it is, man. And they're gonna keep, you already know how it goes. You got 5 babies, 6 babies, so they're gonna keep you up till about 15, 16 now.
Right.
Indeed, man. But you were talking about we were conversating, and you really wanted to get on today and talk about Nipsey, you being out in the LA area, you being a native from the LA area, and being friends with Nipsey, being someone that knew him. You wanted to really get into it. So, I mean, the floor is yours, brother. First and foremost, talk about your relationship with Nipsey, your conversations with him, the interactions you had with him, and just him as a man, because he seems to be so revered right now as a man.
Yeah, well, and it's understandable because he was a stand-up guy. Every interaction I had with Nipsey was very on point. He never was like flaky in any type of way. He didn't do any like gutter shit to nobody that I've ever heard. But as far as his ability to reach people, it really came from his family background, because his father was in his life, his brother like Sam, they all from over there in my neighborhood, which is over in the Slauson Crenshaw area. Real good people, man, just real solid individuals that, were just doing business in the hood, and Nipsey, the conversations I had with him were incredible because he was such a forward thinker as far as business. It was, he just wanted more, and it wasn't just more for himself. It wasn't more to show off. It wasn't more to gain so he can make people that are around him feel inferior. It was for people around him to see that they can do it as well, because he came from the bottom. True indeed. Like, he went from the whole gangbang element, and what he was doing, even with that element, was he was trying to get people in alignment with doing big business, and doing things that are right, getting property, respecting yourself first and foremost, and then getting property. And then he was trying to cross the color line with all the gangs out here, which is going on right now. I saw Big U is they're having a walk to the wake. They're going to view the body as we speak, over at West Angeles in LA. Those of you that don't know, West Angeles is where they filmed Boys in the Hood, the Boys in the Hood scene when the cop pulled him out the car, and that's where he's at right now. And so they're all walking there. People from Hoover, people from 60s, people from VNG, all these different gangs that didn't get along before have been brought together in having to do with Nipsey's death and his passing. So, it was pretty tough for me, man, because it troubled me, man. It messed with my sleep and everything, way beyond my baby. So, because he was a good guy, very, very good guy, man.
Right. So describe, because we're not over there, and we can just speculate from what we see, but describe like how the feels over there, how the people, how's the atmosphere right now in LA, man.
The atmosphere in LA is real somber. It's there's sorrow in the air, definitely, but you can definitely tell that it hit a lot of people, and it's not just black people. It hit all types of people that are just not even if you weren't even really a big fan of his, just to see someone get done like that, you know, to know that this guy was trying to do business within his neighborhood and trying to make a difference. And something like this can happen, you know, and it doesn't even make sense because they claim, you know, there's so many different stories circulating. I've heard my own stories from, you know, people that were kind of on the scene and around the area where he didn't even have an argument with the guy. That's what they were saying. And then, you know, the guy left, he grabbed his hamburger, left and came back and started shooting, you know, and come to find out he's a government informant. So, you know, if anybody's an informant, they work for the government at that point, as we should know. And so, you know, there's a lot of conversations going on, but the main thing that needs to be developed from this situation for most people, just like anything, again, I've talked about this before, anything in the dark is going into the light of understanding and how to take care of your family as well as your community by watching what Nipsey did, going over everything that he did, his documents. I mean, it's documented. Everything he's done is documented, you know, and that's the beautiful thing with this YouTube era and social media is that everything he did pretty much was documented, how he turned those businesses into helping people that get out of jail, people around the way. So, you know, just take a look and really see how you can make a difference within your community, kind of following the same way that Nipsey did it, you know. But as far as the Dr. Sabi's thing, I had a conversation with Nipsey. I saw him at a restaurant out here called Simply Wholesome. This was about maybe 3 weeks ago, maybe three weeks to a month ago. And he was getting out of his car and he had Lauren London with him. And I did tell him, you know, kind of be mindful of, you know, going into the Dr. Sabi's thing, being that he's using the platform that he's on to wake people up, because I know that, you know, it's real damn hard to wake people up on their platform. You have to really be independent in order to get what you're trying to get off. And because he's not independent, he's a signed artist, and he was a signed artist. I knew that he had to be careful with that because Dr. Sabi's shook up the Food and Drug Administration, you know, but so many people are aware of Dr. Sabi's now, you know, even in death, you know, with his passing, people are aware of it now more than ever. And so, you know, and hopefully people will take a look further into Dr. Sabi's work. But I did tell him that, and his response was, you know, why would I say that? And, you know, because I know that there are, you know, secret orders of people that don't want the sheeple to wake up to the reality that there are certain things that are going on through the food and the drugs and the vaccinations and different things that are taking place. And they don't want you to wake up because you sleep. It benefits them for you to sleep because you will forever be a consumer to what they push, you know? And so it's just a strange thing. And I call it duress, you know, it's constant duress, you know, even seeing that footage of Nipsey laying there like that and getting shot, you know, it's devastating, man, for people that knew him. Cause I knew the dude, man, even before he was like Nipsey Hussle running around LA, you know, just a guy that's trying to develop his craft as a rapper. I'm giving him beat CDs from a guy I used to manage named Jay Henny the Business. He used to drive Jay Henny the Business crazy that I would give him a beat CD because he wasn't a signed artist. But I used to tell him, just get your skill, you know, continue to get your exercise on, get your skills up. And come to find out, he put a few of those beats on some of his earlier mixtapes, which was pretty dope. I felt wasn't dope for Jay Hen, but it was dope for me. Shout out to Jay Hen. Yeah, he did. Jay Hen wound up doing All the Girls Around the World for Young Money. He did Strip for Chris Brown. He did Follow My Lead for 50 Cent. So Jay Hen, you know, he got in the game and he's been doing this thing ever since as well.
Word. Let's talk about the Dr. Sabi and just that angle a little more. Not giving because obviously when he initially passed and we got news of it, that was immediately out there. And then we got news that the family wanted that to shut up. This was something this was a random act of not a random act of violence, but an act of jealousy. Someone that knew him, someone that hated on him. And this wasn't Dr. Sabi. Let's leave that alone. Let's not be disrespectful. And then, like you alluded to, Nipsey being just a forward thinker, as the days went on, we can't help but just to kind of think a little forward and think, okay, We understand Dr. Sebi may be a little far-fetched given the fact that a lot of the information about Dr. Sebi is out there, even though it's a very controversial topic given the pharmaceutical industry, given what Dr. Sebi was doing. We know that's a fine line to walk on, but it isn't far-fetched for anybody to do that documentary. Now we see Nick Cannon jumping on. But is it too far-fetched to talk about and speculate on the fact that given his power and given his impact that he had on that community and that he had to the people in that community, that this was something a little deeper than a man being jealous of him, hating on him, some words being exchanged and him ending a man's life?
Absolutely. Absolutely. It's absolutely deeper than what everyone's seeing, because I mean, here again, this guy is an informant. He's on paperwork. They know that. You see what I'm saying? And so anyone that's an informant that person works for the feds. They work for the government. So you have to speculate that first and foremost, because this is not like some just regular guy they killed. This is a guy that was actually taking action. You know, I went down when you saw the footage of me filming him when he had the Culture Vultures book. He had me meet him at a spot called Vector 90. And that was a place a place where they were teaching, you know, people how to code and different business models and stuff. They had all these different rooms where people can come in and rent the rooms and have meetings, and just a community center for people that want to take their business to the next level. And he gave me a tour of the spot, and I was just amazed because it was just so out of the box. It was something that I never even envisioned myself. I never heard of anything like this. And you know, he had the guy that did all the connected to the coding for Instagram as well as Facebook, if I'm not mistaken. But I know Instagram, he had something to do with that. And that's just out of this world, man, that this guy brought this to the hood. It was right in the hood. It wasn't like it was in Beverly Hills. It wasn't in Santa Monica, which is a city outside of Los Angeles, you know, where a lot of other races live. This guy was right in the hood trying to enlighten people as far as business as well as life. And with the Dr. Sebi situation, you know, even with Nick Cannon doing it, he also has to be careful and be aware that the Food and Drug Administration will be like, you messing with the Food and Drug Administration will be like you going to the hood messing with dope dealers' money. You know what I'm saying? You messing with some drug dealers' money. You trying to stop them from getting their paper by waking people up, waking the fiends up. What you think they gonna do? Mm-hmm. So if cats in the hood would do that, you know, for damn sure the Food and Drug Administration, they're gonna take different routes to stop you from pushing people away from what they're peddling to the sheeple. They're gonna stop you. They're gonna stop you, and they don't have to stop you by being vocal about it, because for them to be vocal about it, that would never happen. They're never gonna be vocal about it. What they would do is they'll send somebody in like an informant, you know, to take care of you, poison you some kind of way. Then having it look like you had some old strange brain aneurysm. We've seen this before. You can name these people that have had them, and you're out of here. But the good, you know, the interesting thing about it is that I have a different philosophy on death than the average person. So what we call life is death, and what we call death is life. So in actuality, to me, when I saw the post that Nipsey put up where he said that strong enemies is a blessing, and in connection to what happened, you know, he's stronger than ever right now because his energy still exists. Everything he stood for exists, but it's stronger than it's ever been. And you can see this through how it's affected so many people all over the world. It's affected not only people in Los Angeles, but people all over the world. And I'm sure when you guys saw it, it hurt you, and you might not even really I don't know if you were a fan of his work. And even if you weren't, it affects you because it's stupid. It's disgusting. And then you see his backstory, what he's really trying to do and what he was pushing and what he was doing. It makes it even worse, because here is a guy that came to the hood to do his thing, and he died where he was doing business. He laid there and died where he was doing business. And that's disgusting. It messed with my sleep, man. Like still to this day, man, like after, you know, it's only been 5 days since it's happened. Mm-hmm. And brother, it's still, you know, it's pumping through my head. Like I had to stay off social media. I'll post something, I get off of real quick, because it's just the constant pulling me into sorrow. It lowers our vibrations. It keeps us feeling down and bad, and that's a part of the game, man. It's just the same principle that they used back in 1973, in the fall of 73, when they put Jim Kelly hanging on the cover of Enter the Dragon. Go back and look at the cover, the poster of Enter the Dragon from 1973, Bruce Lee's movie. Out of everybody on the cover, a black man is hanging on the cover dead. They gave you the movie before you even saw it, by the way. The white guy didn't even know karate didn't even die, but Jim Kelly died in the movie. Mm-hmm. And that affected a lot of people, because for us to see that hurts, that affects us. Just like when you slaughter another animal in front of an animal, they're affected by that. That fear gets in their heart. And they understand that sorrow lowers your vibration. And it's only right that you feel bad for what happened. But understand that you have to continue to move forward and just take in everything that he said and ask for the vibration that he had. If you want to go into business and you want to do things for your community, continue to ask for that information and that vibration that Nipsey put forward. And you can have it, because we're all connected to the same source energy. So you can have whatever it is you desire. Period.
Absolutely. What do you think about when you heard about the Chris Darden factor, when you heard about this guy being represented? I know you were around for the OJ Simpson, case. Did that kind of like, was, I don't want to use that word, but was that more disrespectful, to you and people in LA? Could you speak on that factor?
Absolutely, it was disrespectful to see Christopher Darden representing that piece of shit. You see what I'm saying? And so I talked to Tariq Nasheed about it last night, and he had the same sentiment. It's ridiculous. It's basically like them saying, nanny. That's what it's like. It's like some kid shit, man. It's like, here we go. We're going to do this. We're going to see what you're doing, what you're going to do now, and so, and regardless to what's going on, it just has to be a plan of understanding, going back into a true knowledge of self, because at the end of the day, death is promised to everybody. You can't escape it. We all have a date. It's not something that most of us look forward to, of course, but you have to keep in mind that, killing you and doing certain things, killing this guy wasn't the worst really that could happen to him. His family misses him, and it's unfortunate how it happened, but he's stronger than ever because the energy still exists. There's no such thing as death as we know it. You're just free from the prison of the body. He is now free, and his energy and everything he represented is there for us to pay attention to, the same as all of our ancestors that passed before us, Malcolm X, Martin Luther King. So if you think we feel this way about Nipsey Hussle, imagine how our people felt back in the day when people like Martin Luther King or Malcolm X and all these great people died as well. It's a horrible thing, man. It's horrible, man. I did not like seeing that at all. That troubled my soul, because I know him. I know what he represents. He wasn't a bullshit person, man, at all.
Yeah, that's a fact, man. That happened last Sunday, and God and I, we take the weekend off and we chilling with the family and doing our thing. And we usually vibe or talk from time to time. But when does that happen? We ain't say a word to each other. And we still ain't really talked on it, but I already know internally what we were feeling. And then just day by day, when we had to talk about it, it wasn't easy to do, because like you said, it's a very, very touchy subject. Even if we didn't know the man personally, but we often talked about him, like we talked about on the podcast all week, on how we couldn't wait to talk, to get time to have a conversation with the man, because we love what he represented, the entrepreneurship, the doing for self, to going out here and to forward your thinking, and just everything that the man represented, we have respect for. And when he did certain interviews, just you can recognize it's real, and you can see that. So we were looking forward to extending our hand and having a conversation with that man, even though we didn't unfortunately have time to do so.
And you felt the energy. You felt that energy, man, whenever you saw his interviews. You definitely have to agree to that. Like, you felt his energy, and you knew that he was a stand-up guy because he was a giver. And that's what this life is all about. Whatever date you have and whatever you pass your form, we don't know, because the day Nipsey died, there was a 5-year-old that passed. I'm sure there was 1-year-olds that passed. There were 80-year-olds, and it's like, we don't know when that date will be. But the name of the game is to be a continuous giver. You have to understand that giving is the element that circulates peace, love, unity, and all those beautiful things that we desire to have. First be a giver, give to yourself so you can give to others and circulate peace.
Kenyatta, talk about him staying where he lived and doing business out of there, because there was a lot of conversation on whether or not he should have left and things like that. And we talked about it a lot on here. What's your opinion on that? Still, I mean, living where you live and being there and still doing business out of there. Talk on that perspective.
I definitely, you know, initially when he was, you know, first when they were running the businesses and doing their thing, I thought it was okay. But as far as him, as he started to grow in business and fame, I always had a feeling like, you know, maybe it should be like he should really tread lightly of going over there as much, because I know the element of jealousy is heavy in all communities, especially impoverished communities, you know. And so whenever you know, you got a guy that is famous and he's doing this thing and somebody comes up to him and asks him to help me get my demo, help me listen to my demo and get me on and help me. And you might deny these people help. You know, I know that can turn into a problem any day, as we all know, you know, because the hood is full of people in the dark. And so when you're around so many people that are truly in the dark, you know, you have to be careful, you know, in a lot of different ways, because these people being jealous of you, they want to hurt you because they're in pain. A lot of people that are in pain want to commit and cause pain to other people. And so I always felt like there should have been a little more protection of him when he was at the store, because there were times I saw him at the store and he really didn't have anybody with him. Like the day I saw him with Lauren London at Simply Wholesome, he was just in the hood chilling, you know. But it's hard to tell somebody that when you grow up in the area, man. Like I'm sure with you guys, you know, you guys grew up in a certain area and you probably still go to a certain liquor store that people got killed in or killed in front of. And it's just normal to you to be in that area. And it was just a normal thing for him to be in that area. But at the same time, I was a little disappointed that it happened the way it did, and he didn't have any of his crew around him to stop the guy, you know. And it was just, and from what I found out is that none of them knew that he was going to be up there that day. He just made a little quick run to his store, like a lot of us would do if we had a business, and he was on his way back home. He wasn't like, you know, it was just like, I'm gonna go up here and look out for my homeboy that just got out of jail. That's what he was doing. And he didn't make it back. You know, he didn't survive. So, you know, it's just unfortunate, man. But, you know, it's a hard thing. It's a hard pill to swallow, because yes, you definitely want to continue to do business in the hood, but you just got to be careful, man. Like I had a shop, like I said, for over 18 years on Crenshaw. I had a few situations over there, you know, nothing as major as what happened to Nipsey, but you know, it's a certain element when you're in the hood, man. We all can agree to that. It's a certain element.
Definitely. I want to ask you, you know, real quick about there's been several reports that Nipsey Hussle may have feared for his life, you know, days beforehand. They said it was like a video shoot down there where, you know, they had to beef up security. What did that stem from? Do you know about that whole situation? Did that have anything tied in with the other situation with Holder, or no?
No, I don't know anything too much about that one, but I know that, you know, I understand like the hood element of it. You know what I'm saying? He was from Rolling 60s. Right. And, you know, Rolling 60s have their own, you know, separate beefs with different gangs and different people. And, you know, it's no telling, man. You know, it's no telling what he was going through days before the situation. I didn't hear much about that. I kind of lightly, but nothing, because he did a video with DJ Khaled. I knew about that. But, you know, it's no telling, man. It's no telling. And it's, you know, right now it's just, it's so many different conspiracy theories and stories about this situation. But more than anything else, I really feel like people should embrace the legacy he left behind and don't allow the distractions of the conspiracy theories pull you into more sorrow and pain. You know, it's really for you to look at the different techniques he used to come up and different things that he did to take care of his family, and apply those to yourself, apply those to your life. Because again, we all have a date. We don't know what that date is, but while you're here on earth, you know, do the best you can with what you have to take care of yourself as well as your family.
Absolutely.
Indeed. Kenyatta, I don't know if the people listening right now heard our various interviews, but in one particular interview, you talked about how you fell victim of a random act of violence, and you fell victim and being shot and was fighting for your life in the middle of the street, and gave us the detailed story. And you see an incident like this with Nipsey, and you heard the testimony from his brother talking how he got shot once and then dude ran off and then came back and shot twice, ran off and then came back. In your honest estimation, was this a random act of violence to you or something more? And just give a little more context to what, in your estimation, you think it was involved. Or was it the fact that he was jealous and enraged? Do you feel like it was something deeper and he was maybe just what you thinking?
I definitely feel like there was more to this. You know, when I saw Vector, I knew he was doing something next level. When I heard about the Dr. Sebi's documentary being developed, I was like, wow, this guy's going deep. All the businesses within the hood, he had just bought a fish restaurant next door to the Marathon store. It was like it was a fish restaurant back in the day called Sloss and Fish, but now it's called Babalu's. He was opening that up. He had the barbershop. You know, he was loading up on different businesses around the community. And then he was supposed to meet with the LAPD Monday at the day after he got shot, which let me know even more. Definitely it was a deeper situation because this guy was trying to make a difference. And he was trying to make a difference based on waking people up to the reality that we need unity within the community. And so for us to unify for the others, that's a dangerous game because then it becomes hard for them to manipulate us and pull us into destruction of killing ourselves. And so they have to keep us separate in order to control us, especially in a place like Los Angeles, where there's so many gangs and so many different territories and so many different beefs over old past situations from the 80s and sometimes the 70s from certain gangs, like between Hoover and 60s. So I've always heard stories of cops planting guns and killing certain people from rival hoods and saying it's somebody from another hood that's rival to them. So this is not something that I look at as being a random act. I look at this as definitely being orchestrated by some unseen hands, most definitely.
Right. And I was trying to make people aware of a little bit earlier in the stream that I did of counterintelligence program that they had, you know, that the people, they broke into the office in I think it was 71, and they found these documents that showed that the government, you know, actually had, you know, agents and stuff that they sent out, you know, to disrupt what they thought was political organizations. Now, what were these organizations? They were doing some of the things that Nipsey, you know what I mean, was doing, you know what I mean, as far as the enlightenment part and trying to, you know, get people to think a certain way. So it's not out of the realm of possibility that these programs still exist and something like that happened. I don't want to take that off the table. Could you speak on that a little bit?
Oh yeah, these things still exist. Do they exist? They're more technical now than they've ever been. They're more covert than they've ever been. You're talking about if they did this to Malcolm X, they did this. I mean, we could just name it, man. You can go through history and name all these different people that had just died because they were trying to wake people up or help people, especially black men and black women. Boy, man, if you could think, if they were doing that back then, imagine what they're doing now with all this eye in the sky stuff and all these cameras and remote control. Nanotechnology is at an all-time high more than ever now. You know, they send these little flies and these bugs with cameras on them. And, you know, it's different things. These are real things. And this is a real politic that goes on. And here again, if someone is an informant, they automatically work for the feds. The feds is the government. So if you work for the feds, they use these people to go into the black community to commit black on black crime. So you won't look any further and you'll just say, oh, this is just another black man killing another black man. They had beef because it's been perpetrated so many times over and over again within the black community, with black people killing other black people, that we're so used to it to where that was the first thing that came into our minds when we heard that, oh, they were arguing, oh, they were doing this. They can say all that stuff because they know that we'll shut it down and we won't look any further. But if you do your research and you begin to do the math on what has happened in the past with people that didn't do as much as what Nipsey's been doing in the hood. Like I literally seen this guy go from zero to where he was at right before he passed. And I just, man, my heart broke because I know his father. You know, his father is a great guy. You know what I'm saying? He's from Africa. His brother Black Sam is a good dude. I mean, it's just stand-up guys, man. Like this, like to meet them, like off the record, off the stage. Oh man, you would love them. They would. I mean, they're just great people. And Nipsey is from that cloth. You see what I'm saying? He didn't have his father not helping them and not being around. You know what I'm saying? This guy had a real relationship with his parents, and you know, he was loved and he loved them. And you could see it when he was around. You know, these guys really, you know, they held him up. You know, they were proud to talk about their brother, or he was proud to talk about his son. And, you know, and when he came in, it was love. It was hugs. You know what I'm saying? It was a lot of hugs, kisses. It was like they loved Nipsey and Nipsey loved them. That's what I did witness. I witnessed that on many occasions.
Kenyatta, in your estimation, when's the last time you seen the city of Los Angeles hurt the way it is right now and shook by an incident the way it is right now regarding Nipsey? And what's next for the city? What's next moving forward? Because obviously we're going to put the man to rest, we're going to bury, and then we have to move forward. After the morning, we have to move forward. So what's next for the city? And when's the last time, first and foremost, did you see the city affected amidst a tragedy like this one?
You know, I would say like the Biggie and Tupac incident, really Tupac, but that was a little different because, you know, in a strange way, playing devil's advocate, everyone kind of expected Tupac to go through something because, you know, he was so vocal and he had a lot of beefs and he had a lot of situations going on. The last time I really felt it as somber as it is right now is right before the LA riots hit. You know, when they were going through the system, you know, with the guys seeing if they were going to get off or not. And when that happened, that feeling feels almost like this right now. Like people in LA, it's like the spirit is down right now with Black people in Los Angeles. The spirit is down. Like a lot of people are confused. They don't know what's going on. They don't feel safe. There's a lot of fear pumping through people's hearts. And that's why, you know, the main thing that, you know, the element that I want to push and promote is that, you know, at the end of the day, you know, once you understand that you make it's like in death, it's easy to say, but it's hard for a lot of people to digest, is that he's stronger now than he ever was because now they have made him and turned him into a martyr. You know what I'm saying? The guy that did that made us take a heavier look at Nipsey. People that didn't have all his music bought more of his music. They're watching more of his interviews now. People that hear him talk about Dr. Sabies are taking a look at Dr. Sabies a little different, you know, and it's totally disgusting, man. But the last time was LA riots, I would say, you know, the feeling I'm feeling right now and just around the way, because even with the gang truce, the LA riots brought that on through Khalid Muhammad.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So what's moving forward now, brother? In your opinion, how do you move forward in Los Angeles in particular, given this tragic loss?
Man, the way you move forward from a situation like this is continue to stay conscious, continue to, you know, get into your element, you know, become selfish in your approach to bettering yourself. Look at everything he's left behind, everything that he's experienced. And actually, you know, as far as business and doing certain things, you know, you can, if you're about business, pattern yourself after what he's done in business, and you'll come up as well, because he never stopped. I saw this guy selling CDs in front of stores. That's how far back it goes. Even before that, like before he had mixtapes, he would be in front of the stores. He'd be all over by Crenshaw High School selling these CDs up and down Crenshaw. And, you know, he didn't stop. And that's why he named his company Marathon. You know what I'm saying? Is to keep going without ceasing, without stopping. And so in looking at that, I feel like that's also speaking to people right now. He's telling everybody that witnessed his death, everyone that's seen what happened, don't stop, keep going. You know, continue to grow in consciousness is the most important thing. No matter how many real estate property businesses you have, no matter how much you gain on this earth, the only thing you take with you is consciousness. So take a look at yourself, continue to grow, continue to sow great seeds, and be a continuous giver. That's the only way to go at this point, you know, and that's what should be happening as far as the truce with the gang members. Be a giver, see how they can give back to the community and help people within the community instead of hurting people.
Absolutely, absolutely. So yeah, man. Let the people know where they can find you though, brother Kenyatta. I know a lot of people are asking, where they can contact you as well.
Yeah, they can follow me on my Instagram at hip_hop_motivator. Of course, we got the YouTube page, Hip Hop Motivation. About to start that back up because I've been working on 3 consecutive books at one time.
Dope.
Culture Vultures is not one of them, by the way. But I've been working, and we got some stuff coming, and it's a lot of things are happening right now. Definitely.
A lot of people want to know if you said not, so I guess you're not doing the Culture Vultures too. That's not going to happen.
Absolutely not. I haven't even talked. I mean, Dame texted me the first time this week. He invited me to his. He had the promotion for DDS, the network that he's doing, and I told him it was dope. And I thought it was something that he wanted me to post, but he told me not to post that. So he sent me something to post. So I posted it up, and I posted it on the Culture Vultures page as well. I don't have a problem with Dame. I just, more than anything else, I just had a problem with the approach to. How he went about doing it, just making it more about, well, it's a strategy to do this to apologize to Leroy Cohen because of my network without looking out for the people that are around him. And I'm that person that I felt like he didn't really look out, because it kind of just threw what we built and what we did with Culture Vultures, the book, under the bus. That's what I felt. But as far as him doing what he wanted to do, everybody has the right to do that. And so I respect his decision, but I'm over here, he's over there, and I'm okay with that. You know what I'm saying? Because it was just a little weird to me. So I stepped back a little bit, because, once a homeboy, like I said, always a homeboy, but sometimes you got to step back.
We hear you, and you got always carried great energy. And when you came out with the Culture Vultures book, and we seen you on Hip Hop Motivation with Dame, it immediately gave God and I a great look at you, and we became fans of yours. And when we were able to get in contact with you and began to gain a friendship and a respect for you, it was like, man, this is a good brother right here. We wanted to extend outside of this conversation around the hip hop and things like that. And it really got to that point. And the Culture Vulture movement was really moving somewhere in a great direction. You see Nipsey Hussle talking about it, and other various artists and various people, and it was a movement. And when he did that, it was a shot to us all. And not to get too deep into it, because we wanted to involve this about Nipsey, but
that's a great. But it's funny when you said that. That's something I need to share. Also, he was such a huge fan of the Hip Hop Motivation movement, and the videos we did, like. He showed me in his phone. He said, he was like, man, this is all me and Lauren be watching. And he actually went to his history and he was showing me. And I was humbled by it. I was like, damn. I was like, you watching it like that? Like, he knew everything. He said he don't even go a day without watching something from Hip Hop Motivation. That's why he called me up. He had to get the book. He was like, yo, man, I got to get that book. Come bring it to me. Where you at? And I just was like, yo, I'm on my way. Where you at? And he said, yo, man, come by my spot, Vector 90, so you can see it and see what we're doing. And I was glad I did, because I seen something next level taking place at Vector 90. Definitely, way deeper than anything else that people are talking about having to do with Nipsey. Vector 90 was about to really, really change the game. And I think it's still going to move forward. And that's what I hope. I hope everybody that's involved with Nipsey moves forward and continues every business that he started, because, it's damn, man, the groundwork has been done. Just keep moving. Like he says like he named his company, it's called a marathon. Don't stop, keep going. Make sure you get to the finish line.
I hopefully Black Sam looks like, he'll keep everything going, man. Hopefully his brother, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
I'm hopeful of that.
Yeah, we're going to see, man. I mean, and the main thing too, send those guys good energy. Make sure today, if you get a chance, everybody listening, sit still and meditate for a good 5 minutes. Just sit still. You don't have to do no, you hold your hands a certain way. You don't have to make no sounds. Just sit still and send that family and the loved ones and everyone that's connected with the Nipsey Hussle movement and all the fans, send them some energy so they can come out of that sorrow, so they can continue to move, because he gave you the blueprint. He said what it is. This is called the marathon. The only way to go through a marathon is you don't stop. You keep going. It doesn't matter if you win or lose. You keep going. Don't stop.
Facts indeed. And if you know, my bad, oh God, if you know any of his family or anybody, please send them our love and our condolences.
Absolutely.
Shoot podcast. I gotta ask you one more thing about Dame, and I don't mean to extend.
Oh yeah, no, we good, man. Just it's connected because he loved the movement with Dame, and I'm sure in his own way when he saw what happened, he felt some kind of way too.
The shit hurt, man.
Yeah, it hurt.
The shit hurt, and it hurt. Did he apologize? Do you feel like he owes you apology? Like I said, you're a stand-up guy, so I feel like I know the answer.
That's a great damn question. I thought about it and I looked at it like, well, he doesn't owe me an apology because or explanation because, you know, again, people can do what they wanted to because the sovereign is you. You have property rights just like anyone else. You know, you have a right to make a certain decision, and that decision might not be popular, but you have that right. And so he doesn't owe me an apology at all. You know, and I, like, at first, the way I was feeling about it, I was feeling like, damn, you know, like, you just hurt the movement. But the way I look at it, because I control my narrative, I know in life, things don't happen to you, they happen for you. And since then, I began to grow in business and grow as far as, you know, my health, getting my health together, doing more for myself, paying attention to what I'm doing, getting out here speaking, you know, and I'm going to continue to be a good parent and a good family member and a good friend. But I just looked at it like, man, that was just a certain time. I set out a goal to write the Culture Vultures book. It wasn't his goal. It was my goal. I accomplished that goal. I finished. I completed everything I said I was going to do. So I have no animosity towards Dame or anyone involved. I just know that I had to just get out the way and do me.
Great learning lesson.
Excellent. Yeah, absolutely. Definitely. We definitely appreciate you, you know, coming out tonight, man. Much success, you know, with your new your child. It's a daughter.
Thank you. Yeah, daughter. Yeah, daughter. Kim Aset, Komet. Yeah. Awesome. That's the real name of Egypt. So I named her that. Yeah, Kim Aset. Now Aset is ISIS.
Yeah, awesome, man. We know that once again, man. And condolences. You know, I know that was a good friend of yours. I wish we could have got a chance to, you know, meet Nipsey as well, man. So,
oh yeah, he was good, man. Yeah, but understand, like, they got a real one up there, man. If you believe in up there or down there, whatever you believe, just understand the energy is here. He's more powerful than ever, and that will be all of us when we pass our form. But the question is, what will they say about you when you leave? That's the real question. To concentrate on that. Will they say you were a shoulda, woulda, coulda person? Or will they say that you did? You took action. You were a giver. You inspired. You helped. What will they say about you? So for everyone out there listening, the best thing you could do today is write your own obituary and move forward.
Appreciate that, man. We often say we don't do it for us. We do it for our last name, man. We're leaving a legacy and cementing a legacy that is going to be here far beyond us.
Yes, sir.
And for the people out here listening right now and watching and enjoying the content, Culture Vultures book, just because of what the nonsense that happened, is still an excellent book written by Kenyatta Griggs.
It's still available. Yeah, it's still available, man. But you know,
it's far beyond Dame complaining about this or that. Kenyatta Griggs aspect and the self-help that was involved within the book and the Secret to Balling Journey. Y'all go check that out on Amazon, man. Exceptional work, brother Kenyatta, you're doing. And can't wait to see further the content coming from you, man. Because
hip hop motivation, the book is next.
Dope, man. You let us know when that's coming, man, so we can get that
I'll be definitely sending y'all some copies.
That's what we talking about, man.
Awesome.
Yeah, I got you.
Dope.
All right, brother. Well, have a good night, man.
You too. Peace, man. Anytime. Take care,
brother. I'll let you.
Definitely, man. So yeah, man. Great right there, man. Brother Kenyatta Griggs, Hip Hop Motivation. Make sure I go to his YouTube page. You can also type that in on Instagram. You can find him and go follow that brother. Real powerful right there. Say, man.
Yeah, man. We enjoyed it. We always do enjoy it. And I think this was, and we say this every time we get him on the podcast, but this was our best interview with him to date. Just giving some real perspective to a man that we have the utmost respect for and that we felt to our heart and to our core, the passing and the loss of this man and what he did for his community. So great insight from Kenyatta, and salute and condolences to the family of Nipsey Hussle, his children, Lauren, his brother, his parents, everybody involved, man. You have our condolences over here.
Definitely, man. So yeah, man. Once again, this will probably be the culmination, you know what I mean, of talking about this. Once again, obviously we'll be following it again, you know, when the trial comes up and whatnot. But just a sad situation, like Kenyatta was saying. We also said over here, just going to try to take the good from what he did. and apply it to our life. Hopefully people can see that, you know what I mean? Listen to his music, be inspired, you know, and just do great things out here, man. Same thing with Tupac and anybody else that ever died in your life. You just got to take the good from the bad with the situation. It hurts everybody, but it's a process to this. And right now we're right in the middle of it.
And move forward. That's all we can do. Appreciate everyone that stuck around in the chat room, everyone that stuck around watching with us.
Yes.
We didn't get to really get to the comments and see you guys, but we were involved with the content.
Yeah.
And we appreciate each and every one of y'all that stuck around. We don't have a super chat. We don't have anything like that. We don't ask you to donate. All we ask you to do, if you appreciate and support the content, share it, text it to a friend, throw it on your Facebook, throw it on your IG. Get as many people over here as you possibly can to the Uncensored Truth Podcast official channel. If I have, we got 1,000 people in the building, a little over 1,000 people in the building. If you aren't subscribed to the Uncensored Truth Podcast on iTunes, Spotify, Google Play, and all major online outlets, you're bugging. Get your ass on your phone right now, on your iPhone, on your Android. Go over to your podcast section and subscribe to the Uncensored Truth Podcast, where you'll get this. Post that link in there. Oh God, where you're gonna get this interview in full, as well as other great content that you won't hear on YouTube. Please keep the support up. It goes way further than donation, even though we support each and every one of y'all. Just please share the content. Thank you very much. It's what we have close to well over an hour now, man.
Yeah, definitely.
Honoring the life of Nipsey Hussle. And we will move forward outside of the case and things like that happening. Obviously, we'll report various things. But hey, man, I'm glad we ended the week on a high note.
I'm glad. Like when you told me last night, man, it was real late. But you was like, yeah, man, Kenyatta's coming through tomorrow night. I was just excited, you know, to hear from, like you said, previously we were supposed to have him on, but schedules got kind of conflicted. So to have him on and kind of, you know, put icing on the cake, just to have somebody, you know, there that actually knew this brother. Because we seen the whole thing develop, and we seen Nipsey pop up with the book, and then it was like, man, like we want to get Nipsey on. And, you know, now it's just sad, man. But like I said, man, you just got to follow him, the entrepreneurial spirit, the community activism and whatnot, and continue this to build that, because they can stop one, but they can't stop us all.
Facts.
You know what I mean? So let's push.
Well said, man. Salute to everyone that stuck around for the Uncensored Truth Podcast. Check us out not tomorrow. Shit, it's the weekend. Check us out Monday. Yeah, I mean, we all chilling, really, man. It's gonna be a great weekend, man. Hopefully we get some nice weather out here in Jersey, because they flirted with us at first, getting nice weather, and it was cold as shit today.
Yeah.
But man, we're gonna enjoy the weekend, man. Salute to each and every one of y'all. We love each and every one of y'all.
Let's get them area codes up before they leave real quick.
Throw them area codes up, man. Let me get some music going by our man Riggs.
Yeah.
Something real quick, man. Let's get the miracles popping before we get out of here. I'm with that.
So, and I appreciate the mods tonight from stepping it up. Kitty, my man Darren Marion, rocking out and standing, man. You know what I mean? Just crown him. You know what I mean? Mod. So I appreciate y'all from doing it tonight as well, man.
Indeed, man, because we appreciate it. We know it's a little nonsense going on in there. We condone all of it. We will bring it on. You know what I mean? So we need y'all in there to make sure everything stay clean and no one gets offended too bad.
Right.
I mean,
423-917. 254 in the building, 215 in the building. Philly, I see you. 502 in the building. 410. Be more in the building. 713 in the building. 617 in the building. 404 in the building. Mike Larry, I appreciate that. Sharing it on Facebook. Yeah, man.
409-850 in the building. Love you guys. You growing. Appreciate you, Kitty. Thank you indeed. 323-330. 502 Kentucky in the building, 213-323 Atlanta in the building, 678-843-504-803-330-716-804 Camden, Jersey in the building. What up? The Bay Area always showing strong support. 757 in the building, 904.
I wish you could play Nipsey.
We bumping this shit. They don't know, man. We wish we could. Go over there and
stream his music.
Stream his music, absolutely. Follow us on Facebook. Follow us on Instagram. We go live on there prior to the podcast, do our little thing. This is where we can listen to a little more music than we can on YouTube. We be vibing in here, man.
Definitely.
Jersey in the building, 732. We see you. Central Jersey, what up?
Yes, sir.
UK, we see you. What up? We get a lot of love out the UK, man. We got to get the fuck up out there one of these days.
Yeah, man. I heard it's beautiful in London.
We got to get out there.
Yeah, definitely. But yeah, man, with that being said, man, we have to get out of here tonight. We appreciate each and every person who took the time out, to rap with us tonight, man. All that we ask you to do, like you said, man, if you get an opportunity, share the video, hit the like button on every video, not just because it's this video. We ask you to do this on every single video, you know what I mean? So we're not going to stop, now. So definitely, man, y'all have a great night.
We out of here.
All right, man.
Peace.
Pacoma.